culture. Everything is permitted.
A most bodacious welcome to episode 69, dudes, of Everything is Permitted here at Wade's Comic Madness. I'm your excellent host, Brittany Tomes, or Ted Theodore Logan, alongside my non-heinous co-host, Man of Steel Matt Ruppert, and EIP mastermind, Julian Brown. How are we doing?
Spectacular, man.
Oh my God.
On a scale of most heinous to most bodacious.
Most bodacious.
Oh, Jesus God, you two.
Why did I let you host?
Because it's episode 69, and a lot of people, their minds would have gone much further south. Mine went west, to the west coast. Right outside the Circle K, where all things are, strange and afoot, to Bill and Ted, because that's what I think of when people say 69. So, you guys, you enjoyed the first segment we did so much. I'm just going to tell you what's going to be in this episode, because I'm super excited. Basically, we're going to give you a sequel. That's right, courtesy of our friend and EIP contributor Rob Migliaccio. It's time for Battle of the Birth Years Part 2, Video Game Edition. I guess you can say we leveled up.
Yikes.
Matt's just not going to talk.
I don't know how to respond to that one.
My, being the oldest sometimes has its blunders.
Did you say blenders or blunders?
Blunders.
Blunders.
But
Blunders.
maybe blunders.
Maybe blunders?
Whatever you're into. And later on in the episode, we're also going to talk about shows that you could bring back for one final season or movie if you could. But before we get to that, can you believe it's already July?
No. No. Like, I don't know, man. All the days seem to just all gel together. Like, we opened it back up for a little bit, and now, even though we're still opening them up, I'm just like, I'm going back to staying at home because fuck this shit. So
the world opened back up, and I was like, I don't want this anymore.
It's been 2020 for like 10 years now. That's what I feel.
it's been so long.
It's been 84 years.
Like that, I saw that meme. I don't know if we shared it or if I saw it somewhere else, where it was just like back in January 2020 when you're just watching Witcher and it's just like,
Yeah.
like that's. I'm like, yep, that pretty much sums this up.
Chilling, watching The Witcher, tossing a coin. Oh my God, it felt so long ago. So, yeah, yikes. But because of all this, due to COVID, release dates have been pushed, different events have been, canceled or postponed. So our schedule is always changing on the show. And somehow we're already in July. So while planning the rest of our July episodes, we just wanted to reach out to you guys, the awesome EIP listeners, and just say that, hey, if you have a specific topic or something that you know about that hasn't been canceled that you'd like us to cover, by all means, shoot us a message, comment on Facebook, send us an email. And we might consider that in our July lineup.
Yep.
But in the meantime, keep your eyes peeled because Julian's always playing Warzone, uploading awesome videos on YouTube. Some of them are really entertaining, like good kills. And sometimes I'm like, why is he in a helicopter? But this is fun.
Why am I in a helicopter chopping people up in midair? Why am I throwing C4 at cars? You should watch our YouTube.
He's chopping in the chopper.
I call it my hibachi chopper.
Oh God, the blades. And I'm playing as permitted also, and I just finished live streaming Little Nightmares, like the full story mode, and right now I'm doing the DLC, so if you want to check that out, head to our YouTube page or check us out on our Facebook page, and we always have like links to our videos there, so it's pretty snazzy.
Snazzy wazzy. Or as they say in the future, shway. It's very shway.
Shway. You need to watch Batman Beyond. Wait, how did Batman Beyond end?
You tell me. I've never watched it.
That show deserves to come back.
I was about to say, as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, damn it.
Okay, yeah, because that totally slipped my mind. Okay.
I love the light bulb just
later.
like, bing.
Well, because it took me a minute. I was like, Terry McGinnis, what happened to you?
Well, they did kind of end it, to be fair.
Yeah.
A
lot of 90s shows technically had endings.
Well, but they ended it in another show, though. That was Batman Beyond's ending.
Right? When did it end? I think it ended in early 2000s, right?
I think so. They did something with like Injustice League. I haven't seen the episode yet. But.
Spooky. Anyway, time for my Patreon plug, even though you're probably tired of hearing from me as the co-host. Just be happy I didn't keep my accent up the entire time.
That would
could
have
done.
Driven me mad.
I think people would have left.
I think they would have.
So it's just going to be here, maybe sprinkled throughout in a few spots, and maybe at the end. So if you would like to support our show because we're really freaking funny, I think.
That's debatable.
I think we're hilarious.
I think we're all funny. I think Matt thinks we're all funny. I think you think we're all funny. Maybe the people think we're funny. People listen to our show.
I find we're funniest when we're like suffering through.
Oh
like,
yeah, no.
When like I still listen to the Robin Hood episode.
Our shared trauma
I love the hell
is
out of that.
fucking hilarious.
Matt's evil creation, Raiders of the Bargain Bin, is where we get the most
my
entertainment.
devil spawn that has entered the world.
Yeah,
yes.
the bargain bin's always where we're bargaining for our lives, and the audience is just like, yes, yes, throwing popcorn at us. So if you would like to support our show, as always, head to everythingispermitted.com, hit our little Patreon tab, and you can check out our tiers, which are $2 a month or $5 a month, and you get access to lots of really cool stuff. All the descriptions are there. You're probably tired of me telling you every single episode, but just trust me, check it out. You also get a free sticker for our show, and it's super awesome. You can put it on your car, you can put it on your computer, you can put it on, I was about to say your dog. Don't put it on your dog. That's bad. Put it somewhere.
Maybe put it on your dog. I don't know. People
On the
take
collar.
their dogs for walks.
Yeah, Matt has it
Put
right
it on
there.
your iPad, but
Back
people
of his
take their
tablet.
dogs for walks. That could be good advertising. Someone looks at the dog. Oh, can I pet your dog? Oh, what's everything is permitted? Just saying.
If you do put it on your dog, do not put the actual stickiness on it.
No,
Maybe
poke
just
a
like,
hole in the sticker and put it on your collar.
yeah, that's what it means. Scooby Doo it. Time for more regret, guys. I'd like to thank a few of our wild stallions out there for supporting our show. That's what I'm calling the Eep Beeps right now as Ted. So, Billy Peets, Heather Reppert, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Nikki Veazey, Matt Moore, Cabria Wimbush, Rob Carter, and Anthony Matarese. You guys are most excellent indeed.
Indeed.
Julian's regretting everything.
I'm not. I'm having fun with this. I think it's good. I'm thankful for the break. So.
He gets tired of his own voice, I guess. I never do.
Aww.
I go to bed at night
Thanks.
listening to our podcast. Just kidding.
That's
I
not
don't have
true.
time
You
listen
go to bed
it
watching Voyager right now.
again.
know
do
your
go,
routine.
Yeah. I watch Voyager until I'm ready to pass out, and then during the last episode, like towards the end, I'm like, I'm gonna pop some melatonin, and then I just gently fall asleep.
What season are you in, by the way? You've been watching
I'm
a
in
lot
2.
of that.
Well, I have been. It just depends on like certain days. Like when I do watch it, I binge a bunch of episodes at once.
At lunch?
At lunch? Madeline
Like,
Lunch.
Yeah, I was about to say lunch.
I never
Wait,
thought
but
I'd
if
see you
you're
up
here-
this high without a broom under you.
My favorite is like he's like, if you're here, then who is in Hades?
Who is
Who's
guarding Hades?
Anyway, please watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh my God, what was I saying?
Voyager.
When I do, I watch a lot. It's not every night of the week, but when I do, I watch a lot. So I think I'm towards the end of season 2. The last episode I remember
The mind
before I fell
fuck.
asleep was an episode where this telepathic alien, I don't even know if he was really on the ship or not. It's all very vague, but he causes everybody to like have these hallucinations. And at first they think it's like holodeck stuff because let's be honest, everything in Voyager that's an issue that's not on an actual planet is holodeck. Makes sense. I'm here for it. It's also, I can call the episode before it happens. But he causes everybody to like see these visions, and some of it's about like what they really want, their true desires, just to like get them to be mind controlled and like not move and like know that it's not reality and break from it. And he totally vibe checked Janeway and Chakotay and was like, "This is what you really want." And I was like,
Voyager had
"This
so
is
much
what we
weird shit.
all really want."
There was so much romance on that ship.
Yeah, that too.
People were fucking like bunnies.
It was the ship
I
of
mean,
ships.
It kind of makes sense though,
It does.
because they're trapped on a ship together. Because you figure, like in normal Star Trek universe, they're going to Risa and getting their shit out there. But damn,
That alien got a rise out of them. So anyway, yes, watch Voyager.
Indeed.
But now for the really fun part of the episode. Does anybody have rants and raves?
I do.
Julian's got his hand wide up in the sky. Go ahead.
I have a rant and a rave today. I'll go with the bad news first. Florida.
I like how like you just
all you
say
need to
Florida
say.
and it's like its own joke. It's not.
I mean,
even
Florida. Can we be serious for a second? Florida is its own joke.
Oh no, it is.
You say the word Florida, Brittany literally just laughed.
Florida man is like
Florida
it's like an
man.
all-time classic meme. It's just
15 8,000 plus new cases on the day that we're recording, which they've set now another new record. Why am I mentioning this? Sports. Fuck off with sports. And I love sports. I need my soccer back. I want my soccer back, but not at the expense of the players. People are getting COVID. They say they're in a bubble, but they've now postponed a game for the second time. It's time to shut it the fuck down. This is ridiculous. How they even decided that opening up Disney again was a good idea, I will never understand. Like, I don't think people fully comprehend that Florida is having apocalyptic level like numbers of cases. It's bad, as in like it should be quarantined and people should not be allowed in or out, and people should be staying the fuck home and businesses should be reclosing. It is that bad. But meanwhile, you have baseball starting there. You have soccer having played some games.
The NBA.
2 games. Yeah, the NBA. 2 teams have had to be sent. Did they send Nashville home?
No, I don't know if they sent them home or if they didn't go, because they apparently Nashville and I forget the other team like didn't follow the protocols that were set forward.
Yeah.
And so they were like, I'm sorry, you can't
Yeah,
come.
so FC Dallas got sent home
Dallas.
because
During the NWSL, like the cup they're doing.
oh
right
yeah,
now,
and the Orlando
Yeah.
Pride couldn't even
they couldn't
start.
even play. 'Cause they were like, you
they were
tested positive.
a bunch.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I get that people need to get paid, and I know that especially in the MLS and the NWSL, people rely on this salary because the money is not that good. But at some point, you have to think about the greater good. People are fucking dying at exponential levels. It's like, and I'm not talking about like, there are obviously a lot of states in the country that are doing better than others. But Florida is fucking burning. Like, it's ridiculous to me. And it's ridiculous that this league decides that it needs to play all for fucking money. Like, just stop. Shut it down. I'm like, it's really upsetting to me because, listen, like, I'm acquaintances with some of the players. Like, I'm acquaintances with and friends with some of the staff on the union. Like, I think about these people. I've been on this journey with them for, God, almost 10 years. You know, I think you've been there the entire time.
I've been there the entire time.
It's just it's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's really upsetting, and it's scary. So that's my rave.
You rant?
No, I'm not okay.
No, you said your rant. You said your rave.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
that's
Sorry.
my rant. No, that's okay.
Sorry.
So
I'm not okay.
Florida man, keep your mask on. Like if you can wrestle an alligator, Florida man, you can wear a mask.
Facts.
If you can do what it says in the news, you can wear a mask.
So my rave is going to come out of left field because I've been shitting on it a lot recently, but Destiny. So
This
the ongoing
What?
saga.
is
What
amazing.
the
It's
fuck? I don't even know
Matt
what's-
and his Best Buy, you and your Destiny. I gotta find out what my thing is.
You do. It's true. I logged back in. I'm trying to like give myself certain days to play Destiny because I play a lot of Warzone right now too. I just have to say, for as much as I shit on the game, this season of Arrivals has been fantastic. The public event is some of the most fun I've had in Destiny. It doesn't get boring.
Contact, yeah.
Yeah, Contact. I love Gambit, so I love the Gambit aspect of it. I finally unlocked the new sword, the Fallen Guillotine, and
Man, you are way
I'm way behind. Oh, dude,
You
my
are-
light,
you are way behind.
my light's
Light
only like
years behind.
1031, 1032 right now. I'm catching up because I didn't play for about 2 weeks after the season, so
Would you like to know where mine is at?
probably like 1080.
1078.
Yeah, I was close.
You said Contact, and I've just been thinking of Jodie Foster this whole time.
Ready to go.
18 hours of
Where'd
static.
to go? I'm good to go.
But man, I've been having fun. That new sword is great. And then I played with Eric from Geeks with Kids last night. He had done Leviathan a bunch, but never actually killed Callus. So we played with our clan. I know. We played with our clan. Dude, that shit is so easy now.
Oh, no, dude.
Ran right through it. And then some of our clanmates were like, so does anybody want to do a crown? I'm like, I will stick around for a crown because I know you're going to have a hard time finding a fifth or and a sixth. So we'll stay. But just know that Eric's never done it, and I've only done it once.
Crown's easy.
It's the last stage is not easy. It's not. With all the different mechanics and switching the blessing.
I mean,
and-
maybe it's just my experience with it.
Well, how
but
many times have you cleared it?
I'd have to pull up Raid Report, actually. I can tell you.
Yeah, so we were up till 3 a.m. finishing Crown. But Eric loved it. And what I love about Crown is like it's one of the most beautiful sandboxes that Bungie ever did in a raid. That final room with all like it's like
It looks like Smog's throne room from... Yeah.
exactly. It's really fucking cool. So I've been having fun in Destiny again. It's getting me excited for the
Beyond Light.
Yeah, Beyond Light, and I got my shirt, and I'm one Eater of Worlds away from getting my raid ring. So
did you do? So you did Spire of Stars, or
I did not do Spire Stars. I had a service do it for me because I watched the fucking YouTube video of that raid, and I said, "Fuck no,
dude." Honestly, like if I had, I would actually have run it for you because like Spire is not difficult, and Eater of Worlds is easy as hell.
Nah, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm giving people my money to support their thing. It's fine. I have no problem with it. But I did end up wasting the money on Crown because I ran it last night. So
You should see you in a crowd.
sorry. Anyway, Rants and Raves done. Destiny good.
Destiny good.
Destiny good.
We're both wearing
week
Destiny
We
shirts. By the
are
way.
moments of triumph.
Next
baby.
week he's gonna go Destiny bad.
Destiny good, Bungie bad.
Oh god, it's like that Buffy episode. Beer good, remember? Or beer bad? Something like that. Oh my god. It was that one where they're all cavemen.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Stupid. It's like the worst Buffy episode ever. It's like how Hush is top tier, like that is beyond low.
Yeah.
Talk about low brow. They only had that one unibrow too. Matt, how about you? Rants and raves?
So I already showed you guys the screenshot, but Control, like one of my favorite games of last year, its DLC was released at the end of June, and it was the most below radar thing ever. I saw nothing about it anywhere. And the only reason I even thought about it was I was just going through the Xbox store and I was looking at add-ons, and I was like, and Control is still installed on my Xbox, and I was like, whatever happened to that DLC, the Foundation it was called? I'm like, what happened with that? And I looked and I saw reviews for it. I'm like, wait, there's reviews out for it. How the hell? And then I saw like, oh, it was released on June 25th on my birthday. And I was like, I'm downloading it right now. And so I literally was playing the new DLC for Control, and I had to reacquaint myself with the mechanics of the game.
With the controls.
Yes. Thank you, Brittany.
It's the only reason I haven't continued my live stream because it's been too long.
It's honestly though, is once I got back into it and I remembered how to do everything, there was one point in the game where I was just mowing through a bunch of enemies, and I actually said out loud, like, the director's back, bitches. Because I mean, and the DLC, it's more, if you liked the main game, it's more of that. It's weird, trippy shit happening. It's all sorts of, it's a whole new map that they added, new quests and all that. The scientist woman, Dr. Pace, I think is her name. She's in this as well. She goes to the new area and you talk to her. It's so much fun. I was so glad they made it. Part of me thinks that this will be the only DLC they put up for Control, just because, like, I don't think the game did that well. And as I said, this DLC was just so under the radar that I would be surprised if a lot of people bought it.
But Control is the remedy to your situation. Okay, guys, Remedy made Control.
Julian's looking for
I had to let the audience know.
Boo! Boo!
Well, thanks, Matt. I'm going to have to go home and immediately download it.
Oh, dude, I was so happy. I can't, like, when we're done here and I go back home, I will continue playing it. It's that fun.
Yay.
And also, I finally get to upgrade the Pierce gun, which...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got to level... You can get it to level 3 now, but I got level 2, so I just have 2 damage mods on it. So I just do the charge thing and just take out enemies in, like, one shot. It's awesome.
Love that.
That's amazing. I'm so excited. That makes me really happy about Control again.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I have for rants and raves? I feel like I didn't do any last week because we did Hamilton, so I think I had some stored up.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Some stored up rage and happiness. So I'll do my raves just real quick because they're super quick. Finally, my Ellie edition of The Last of Us Part 2 arrived, and everybody knows I'm a huge-ass Last of Us fan. Ellie's my favorite game character ever. So I was delighted that it finally arrived, and now I can play the game. It's also amazing. Everything in it is awesome. People were asking me for pictures of, like, specific things, because even if you get the collector's edition, like, you don't get Ellie's backpack, which is, like, literally the exact same as in the game. It comes with the 2 awesome pins that are on it. One of them is very important to plot. So yeah, I was just over the moon. I recorded, like, an unboxing video that I just have to, like, edit real quick and then post on YouTube or something. My other rave, before I get into my rant, which involves the Ellie edition, unfortunately.
I'm glad that you brought that up because
yeah.
I was going to rant for you.
Little Nightmares that Matt got me for my birthday, which I've been live streaming, is amazing. Like, it's so weird, kind of creepy, but mostly just, like, weird, and it's just so cool.
They're making a second one.
I know. I'm so excited. So I'm playing through the DLC right now, and the DLC is just as fun. So I don't know. It's one of those like weird little indie games you don't expect to like so much, and then you do, and you're like, wow.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about some of the plot and all that because, like, the game, like, I had to do some research, but like your main character, her name is Six. That's her name.
They don't tell you that the whole game. The whole time I just called him like I was just like I'm just this little kid. I'm a little dude. And then later on, somebody was like, you know, you're playing a girl, right? And I was like, no. Well, like little kids just all look alike to me. But.
Yeah, her name is Six. That's her name, and I'm curious to see how you'll respond to the end of the DLC because it hits pretty emotionally.
I'm ready for it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I talked a little bit about like the theories when I was playing last night because I was just like, apparently this is what the game's about. I don't know, but it's kind of cool that they don't tell you, so you can like leave it up to your imagination. Now time for my rants. First one. This one's gonna be about the LA edition because I just can't wait for it. So, my brother, cousin, and sister-in-law were amazing, and they got me the LA edition like from a third-party buyer, basically. Back when the LA edition was completely sold out, and I think it never came back fully. So I guess, after it was sold out. They announced it that day. I was at work, I think I had like a 15-hour work day. So by the time I got home or like actually had time to try and get it, it was already sold out. I was devastated. And I was like, it's fine, I'll settle for like a collector's edition or maybe I'll just get a physical copy. But I was bummed for like 2 months. So they found out about the fact that I was bummed and managed to get that for me for Christmas. They showed me a picture of it on Christmas because they're like, it won't arrive until whenever the hell the game comes out, because who knows. And yeah, I was very excited about that. But the seller I got this LE edition from, I don't know what planet they're from, but you never, as like an eBay seller or whatever person they bought this from, you never take the product itself, slap the shipping label on it, cover it in tape, and send it. This individual, literally, it was the outside box. He didn't, like, if it arrived to you, I don't know if they got it from a store or whatever, but, like, it should have arrived in a box. All you had to do is put the shipping label on the actual cardboard box outside this box and send it. That would be like if I sold somebody a video game and I slapped the shipping label directly on the case of the video game, taped it up, ruining the package, and just sending it. Like, I was pissed when it arrived, because I was actually about to leave for work, and my dad, like, grabbed it and brought it in. But I was like, if I had left for work and my parents were gone, like, they were going away for the weekend, that would have been sitting outside my house. It would have got rained on, or somebody would have stole it, because on the outside, it literally shows everything that's in the package. It says Last of Us Part 2, LE Edition. That shit is expensive. I'm surprised people didn't steal stuff from it in the mail. And it was dented on the sides. Like corners of the box and stuff were just, ugh.
When you put that in Messenger, like, I'm a fucking, like, I'm so mad right now. I'm mad for you. Mm-hmm. I know you're mad too. It completely blows my mind that someone would be that fucking lazy and do something like that. You don't do that. Like, you just don't do that. And my question is, did anything come of that? Like, did your brother report it?
I have to wait till my brother gets back. He's on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
But I let him know. I showed him pictures, and I was like, this, like, I get if somebody even, I don't even know why you would send something like this. I'm not even going to pretend to understand. But at first I was like, well, let me at least do my unboxing video like I planned on doing. And if everything inside of it's okay and intact, like, at least I'm not that huge of a collector that I'm like, it's not going to make or break my life if the outside package isn't, perfect. But then I open it up, and even on the inside, there's like a scratch on the inner box. There's like dents because all the shipping.
Well,
and stuff.
yeah.
My inner steelbook collector is like recoiling in horror.
That would be like if somebody stuck a sticker on a steelbook and just sent it through the mail.
Yeah, it would get scratched up and it would be all fucked.
Yeah.
Like, the dude should have, like you said, this is not like this shouldn't be a thing. You just literally keep it in the box and you tape the shipping label over the old shipping label.
Like, I'm always super careful when people buy stuff from me, or like I'm shipping something to somebody, even if it's like a birthday thing. I put bubble wrap around that shit. I tape everything up. I make sure it's a proper size box. I try to write fragile if it is fragile. Like, and that's for something that's not $400 or something crazy.
I shipped a Funko to someone, and I didn't take it out of the box. I mean, not the actual Funko. Like, I kept it in its original box, which, because people keep Funkos in their boxes.
Yeah.
And I kept it in the box that Funko sent it to me in with all the fucking coverings around it, and just shipped the label right over it. Like, it's not hard.
So part of me is just thankful that I even got an LE edition because it is sold out. And that's the other thing. Like, as much as I want to send it back to this dude and be like, no, I demand like a proper one that's not fucked up. Like, who knows if he's even going to be able to get one?
There's
like,
no way.
No.
Yeah, like it's already sold out. So like, I think I just have to take what I got. But I told my brother, I was like, before you leave a review, like, let me write it. Let me rate it. Like, don't tell this dude like everything was fine. I will be like, never, ever again send somebody a box like this. You are lucky that I'm not like a crazy collector that's going to like destroy you for this.
Well, also, you should report it to eBay.
Oh, I will,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I'm going to be like, this is what they sent me. That is not acceptable. Like, and I sound weird, like, complaining like this, because I'm normally, like, one of those people that's like, oh, you made the wrong milkshake? Oh, it's whatever. I'll drink it anyway. But, like, this, it's crazy, because people bought me this as a gift. This isn't even me buying it myself. So, like, that's terrible that you sent it that way when it was their money.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm mad for them. But yeah, guys, don't send things in the mail without a box. I don't blame UPS or whatever people shipped it because, like, they tried their best with it. I could tell they, like, tried not to fuck it up. But at the same time, like, shit wasn't in a box.
Horrifying.
And my other rant is also involving Last of Us Part 2. Please keep in mind that the actors and actresses that play a character
Yes.
are not actually the character. This goes for TV shows, films, literally even theater, plays, and video games. Anytime somebody's portraying a character or acting as that, as their job or as their hobby, they are not actually that character. So whatever the character does in whatever you're consuming, if you don't like it, you don't agree with it, or you just don't like the character design, whatever, you do not attack the actor for it. Laura Bailey has gotten death threats against her family and her young son, who she just had in the last year or so. And it's like it literally gave me chills when I saw like all the hate she received online.
If you're a fucking douchebag nerd who lives in the basement with mom and you think you have something smart to say about one of these actors, actresses, voice actors, I don't give a shit, directors, producers, stay the fuck in the basement and keep your mouth shut. End of story. Or rethink your life, because it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah, they're literally threatening another human being. And to that extent, their family as well. Like, this is a legitimate threat. Like, that is something I think people should be arrested and charged for.
I agree completely.
No, they absolutely.
Because somebody literally said, I will find out where you live, I will come to your house, and I will stab you, and I'll kill your son. Like, they literally wrote stuff like that to her. And as much as a lot of people have been praising her, and, you know, she's probably going to be up for awards for this specific role, unfortunately, a lot of times, the horrible things people say to you stick with you a lot more than all the praise.
Yeah.
So the fact that people remotely think that's okay to ever say to anybody, nor do you think an actor actually has a choice in what their character does, like that's the writing, like it's a whole thing. So just please don't do it. Laura Bailey's incredible. She does not deserve that. Thank you. And that's the end for my rants and raves.
On that note.
That was 2 weeks worth, guys. Sorry.
No, that's good. I dig it.
Does anybody have anything else before we move on to another wonderful segment? It's time for
The Permitted Minute, dude.
Permitted Minute, dudes.
The permitted minute.
Oh, I thought Julian was going to commit.
You want me to commit? I'll commit.
No, he was Rufus.
No,
That
okay.
was Julian.
Yeah, that's fine. He's like, oh, God. It's time for the Permitted Minute, and we're going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gatus, start the clock.
Javicia Leslie will be taking over as Batwoman in the CW series and will be a completely new character.
Netflix has cast a cancellation spell on the chilling adventures of Sabrina, the final episodes, which will debut later this year.
The Sims is getting a competition-based reality show, and somehow it isn't the weirdest thing to happen in 2020.
Player 2 has entered the game. That's right. Ernst Cline's Ready Player 1 is getting a sequel book. Ready Player 2 will be arriving this November.
Flynn Lives, a Disney music executive, has confirmed that Tron 3 has a script and that the time is right for the sequel to finally happen. End of line, man. Oh, it's still me. A Scooby-Doo Halloween crossover has been announced for the fall and will feature Elvira, Bill Nye, and Batman. Jinkies!
The Xbox Series X first-party game showcase will be on July 23rd. We will provide a breakdown of everything announced during our episode that week.
And finally, a live-action Zatanna movie is reportedly in the works at Warner Bros. Itataville. We didn't make
Did you
it.
screw us, Julian?
I did not. We did it with like 5 seconds
Oh
left.
my God. I literally said Itataville super quick. I was going to be like, Itataville.
Even with 2 screw-ups on my end.
Fun fact, Katatu Bellas levitate backwards because she says all her spells backwards.
Oh,
I
look at
tried to
that.
be snazzy with my permitted minutes this week. But there was a lot of news. So there was some stuff that happened even after this. I think like Jude Law got announced to be somebody in a Disney thing.
No idea.
Name, I don't know.
I will briefly mention it is like because I didn't feel appropriate to put it in my rants and raves, but the Ubisoft is quote cleaning house apparently, but people have pointed out that I think like the lead creative director I think is resigning or stepping down in the wake of the allegations, the abuse, sexual harassment allegations. But as people have said, like fire his ass. Don't let him just resign and like go into that golden sunset and everything like that. Like fire him. If you want to make a statement, like terminate him, because that way he can't get anything from just leaving the company like that. So
Yeah, Ubisoft, go you be hard. Don't be soft on these dudes.
oh Jesus Christ!
I'm not even giving you
I
the
know, Julian's
satisfaction.
like, whatever. Do you like how I added a horse little to riding off in the sunset?
My quick odds and ends is that the good folks over in Canada leaked or early released the Star Trek Lower Decks trailer, and I'm not having any of it right
Julian
now.
is the least whelmed.
I'm very... I'm trying to make a pun. No, I got nothing.
He has low expectations.
Nah.
No?
It didn't really deck me.
There you go. There you go.
As Matt said, it's too lowbrow.
Yeah. Listen, I think you said it, like it's Rick and Morty in Star Trek. And
Yeah.
I just
We'll see how it goes.
That's been Star Trek's problem the last few years, in my opinion, is that they've been catering to like trying to bring in this outside audience, which isn't a Star Trek audience. I'm not saying that to exclude people. I'm just saying that like your average frat bro dude is not going to sit down and be like, man, I love Jean-Luc Picard just talking
to
diplomacy.
be fair, everybody loves Jean-Luc Picard.
No, I know,
But yeah, talking diplomacy. Probably
Yeah.
not. He's like, where's the punches?
Make it so.
Yeah, I guess that's in for like odds and ends, right?
yeah.
There was a lot of news this week. Just scroll through any news feed, you'll see it. But yeah, I was surprised we got all 8 of those in under, was it under a minute? Or
I couldn't pronounce her name right at the beginning. I was
Yeah.
like, shit.
Yeah, I think it's like Javicia. So sorry, Javicia,
Sorry, girl.
if you're listening on the very, very, very off chance that you listen to us. We'll make it up to you.
Doubtful.
Doubtful. So it's time for our wonderful main segment, which everybody and their moms has been waiting for. At least I hope so. My mom, at least. Battle of the Birth Years Part 2, Video Game Edition. And yeah, so we're going to try and argue our birth years as being better than the other person's birth years based on video games alone. Nothing else. Just the video games.
Matt's like, God damn it.
I'm already done. I came in third. I'm already calling it.
Matt's calling it. I'm claiming victory already, and Brittany's got a hefty list.
I got quantity,
I have a
bitch.
feeling this comes down to my vote. If you guys go to your respective years, and it's pretty much my decision which one of you wins.
We can always take it to the fans after this episode.
True.
We could be like, let us know definitively. I feel like most people just want to argue their birth years. They're
Yeah,
like,
right.
we don't care about yours. Like, I want to talk about 1997. Like, that's cool. I'm sure something happened. then.
2002 was awesome.
Nobody born in 2002 sounds like that. They're like, what, 18 now?
Oh
Dude,
God!
my
Oh my God!
Oh wait, can we do a quick off subject
We
thing?
can always do a quick off
Can
subject.
I show you guys something?
I can't wait.
Do you want to see circa 2004, 2005 Julian in
Yes.
all his cool kid glory? My brother sent this to me in an email.
Please tell me you had
yesterday.
frosted tips or
Oh
something.
no, it's worse than that, friend.
Was it a fedora?
God! You're
Oh my God, that exact print of like head, like the flame.
a fucking nerd.
Yeah. Yep.
That's like a print in Animal Crossing, you know.
And I'm
like,
wearing
for
a
cool
I'm wearing a
kids.
Disturbed shirt and
Oh,
wearing like
man.
my ball bearing necklace. I was such a like
Dude.
fake goth. It was so
Big
funny.
skater boy goth.
Yeah.
But who wasn't at that time
Yeah.
period?
I was playing a lot of video games back then though.
I feel like
wasn't
even
that-
I had like a Hollister shirt and a seashell necklace, you know? Like at some point in my life. Like
I never shopped
2007.
at Hollister or Abercrombie. I was the Hot Topic kid.
I didn't have money for that, but like knockoff stuff.
I must have been the only person who never did any fashion fad at all at any point. I remember when I was a kid when crisscross was a thing.
Crisscross make you want to jump.
But like wearing
The
your
Mac
goddamn
Daddy
pants backwards. Even when I was a kid, I was like, this is stupid.
I missed my Jenkos and my trench coat.
I don't think I ever really had like fashion things I went with.
Yeah, I just did my own thing.
I was like real late to the game when people eventually stopped wearing like polos.
What you didn't see in that
flipping
picture
them up.
were my painted nails.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Julian's
yeah.
into it. He's doing this to intimidate us. You know what? He's like, hey, look at what a genius I am.
1986,
he's trying to outbro us here.
Okay, so I guess we'll go in order of birth years. So
fuck.
Matt, you get to try your best first. Don't
I-
make it pitiful.
Hey, don't spoil it.
Go ahead.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm already eliminating him.
Yeah, so I already knew going into this because this was one of the reasons why, like, when I pitched Battle of the Birth Years, I specifically went movies because movies tend to be more of them spread throughout. Video games are a much more recent thing. But yeah, 1982. So I have Pitfall, Donkey Kong Jr., Joust, Dig Dug, Q*bert, and Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, and that was pretty much the extent of what I got for games that are at least playable or good.
Okay, but
And-
some of those are very solid.
No, some of them, don't get me wrong. Pitfall is a classic game. Almost everybody recognizes it. Let me rephrase that. Anybody who's probably in their mid to late 20s or beyond recognizes Pitfall. A young kid born in 2002 probably has no idea what the hell Pitfall is.
Once again, they're 18. If they were born in 2002, we need to pick a different time.
I know, but I'm because it was brought since 2002 was
know.
mentioned. That's why I stuck with it. But I like, so Pitfall is obviously a classic. I know, even though I never played Joust, I know a lot of like older gamers always speak highly of it, even though I've only ever seen videos of it because I was never an Atari gamer growing up. Like, so
I've never touched an Atari.
I've played some Atari games and some of them I've tried to enjoy, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know how the previous Generation X survived this. I know it's what they had and I get it, but I would never go back to these games.
That would be like, how do I rate on this?
I found that the Atari is a joy I'll always stick to.
Honestly, one of the only games that I did play is Q*bert, which is an insanely annoying and hard game.
He's got that little newt nose, you know?
Jumping on the little things. Yeah, Q*bert and Pitfall are my two like classics that I'm going to pull from my year. And I'm just going to say right now, if we have battle of bad video games, I already beat all you motherfuckers because I got E.T. the video game.
The
in
one
my
that
year.
made the market crash.
Yes, the video game crash occurred the year after I was born in 1983. E.T. helped lead the way in that shit.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I'd actually be, because it's one of those, there's one of those things where I'd be curious to see what video games would look like if the crash had never happened.
That would be like if the library at Alexandria never burned down. Same level, guys. But, you know, Dig Dug is a game I really love.
Dug.
And you know, every time you get like a new system, like you're like, oh, let's look in the PS Store or whatever. They always have like those arcade game packs
Yep.
that are super cheap. Every time there's Dig Dug, I'm just like, oh no, I bought it again. Oh no, I bought it again. And it's always like $5. But you know,
I didn't win this.
your games paved the way for greater games
Yes.
in Julian and I's years.
Yes,
Our years? I can't English right now.
Yeah, I will say that my games were the forebearers of everything that came after.
The forefathers.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God, your year was the Alexander Hamilton.
It was the Alexander Hamilton.
Julian's
going
to claim to be the Lafayette.
So what?
I'm unfortunately the Burr, I guess. Like,
Now I'm picturing a bunch of people on the stage like, I'm Pitfall. And start singing about it.
oh God. Okay, Julian.
I am not throwing away my rupees. I am not throwing away my rupees.
All right, Julian, what do you got here? I'm going to write down some of your guys' choices.
Well,
so I
He's
can
got
help this-
two really good ones.
I know.
Speaking of rupees, I'm claiming victory on Zelda alone. The original Zelda. I mean, come on. Zelda paved the way for like this
For all the other
amazing
Zelda games.
Thank you. Sprawling franchise of just like amazing games that we've gotten.
The first Zelda game.
Including I think two of like the best video games ever made in Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's freaking
Yeah, but did Ocarina of Time come out your year?
No, I'm talking about Zelda as a franchise as a whole.
But I'm gonna say, if it's the OG
and
Legend of Zelda,
and the original Zelda was also for its time very well received. And there's like a gold cartridge edition, I think. Too.
dangerous to go alone. Take
Super
one
Nintendo.
Of these.
Also in 1986, the original Castlevania again paved the way for a huge franchise of games, anime,
Mobile games.
you name it. Metroid. Come on. You know, I can keep going.
I can do one better for all of these.
Oh,
Except for
snap.
Legend of Zelda. Do you know why? Because I have their sequels, bitch.
Damn.
It's okay, keep going.
There was also a couple of movie adaptation games in 1986, including The Labyrinth and The Goonies. Now, I could say
Both of which have a bigger following now than when they actually came out.
I will not say anything about these games because I've never played them and only found out about them when I was doing my research, but they existed, came out in 1986.
Amazing.
Also, another adaptation from a comic book, and I guess I don't know when the movie came out. Showed up later in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's right, one Howard the Duck. That's right. There was a Howard the Duck video game, and then this is one that I was shocked to see and was excited to see because I liked their sequels. The original Rampage.
Oh,
At least Rampage was solid, but you just said Howard the Duck, which just dropped me on your meter.
Excuse me, Howard the Duck's legit.
I know he's legit, but his game is what you're going to argue is a strong point for your
that is a good point on Brittany.
It's okay.
How do you know?
I'm trying to win, Julian. I'll take down whoever I have to. Even Howard the Duck.
I think Link will just power sword your ass and then
Yeah.
just. I have a few honorable mentions on here. We have Dragon Quest. We have Arkanoid. This is an interesting one. I didn't write down, but I thought about it. Super Mario, the Lost Levels. Okay.
I saw that. I got
Yeah.
to look through your ears.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say The Last of Us.
Outrun, which was like a good racing game, which I did play.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Goonies game. I'm going back to the Goonies game here.
He's
running
really
out.
trying to sell the Goonies, man.
Julian has a very strong year in the beginning, and then it just loses.
You
its
ready for this,
momentum.
Matt? You ready for this, Brittany?
I can't wait. It better be good.
92% liked this video game.
Vindication.
Which
be-
game? Rampage?
The Goonies.
To be fair,
well, yeah.
how many people like Velocipaster? So
Not a lot. And then the Labyrinth, the computer game, also 3.6 out of 5, 4.2 out of 5. Oh, I won't read that last score. 2.5 out of 5.
I didn't even write scores down. I'm just reading titles.
And 90% like this video game. So, Zelda, Castlevania, Metroid.
Brittany's got a lot of games
Julian
written
might
down.
win
So
for
this might.
specific like first cases or nostalgia, but I don't know. I guess.
All right, well, wow me.
Speaking of WoW, you want me to wow you? The original Warcraft came out my year, which then stemmed the entire franchise once again, just like Legend of Zelda. And I
The
only said
original
that,
Warcraft isn't even the good Warcraft.
but you just said WoW, and that's how I plugged it. It was a funny segue.
I know. You did a good job. It doesn't mean the game was good.
Oh no,
man.
I'm not gonna. I only mentioned that because you said WoW.
I'm trying to win now, too.
Fine. Okay. Fine. Super Metroid. The better Metroid game.
I would actually agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's got a cool ass pterodactyl motherfucker dragon thing. Ridley. Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
The
I
ki-
can't
had-
argue.
Dude,
Damn.
I
I
had so
can't
many
argue
fighting
against
games my year. The King of Fighters. Killer Instinct.
Oh.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles. They were both good
Sonic
games.
Knuckles was good.
I'm not
Sonic 3
saying
was
they're
bad.
not. I'm not. Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles was decent. Sonic 3 was.
But dude,
Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. That's a good one. And you know it.
all the Super Star Wars games are pretty fun.
Super Star Wars games are fucking awesome. Okay.
you got me on Killer Instinct, man. I love that game. That was a good
Combo breaker.
You got it.
Tekken. The original Tekken.
Tekken didn't get good till Tekken 2.
Battletoads. Battletoads is a lot of fun.
One of the hardest games like ever fucking
Battletoads?
made. Yes.
Yeah. Battletoads is hard, but it's amazing.
Wow, you really emphasized that H on the hard.
Yeah. Hard. Doom 2. I've never played Doom 2. Need for Speed, the first one.
Like
Star Wars TIE Fighter.
wasn't Need for Speed the like the original just like computer?
It was
just basically
PC.
cops versus
No, the original Need for Speed, because I remember I played. I don't know if it was this one I played, but I remember I played them on my PC years and years and years ago. Obviously, oh God, when Brittany was born.
Brittany,
I was
what's your
playing them.
birth year again?
1994. Earthworm Jim.
Oh my God, man, she
on.
she might slay you. I'm
Hold on.
sorry.
Earthworm Jim. A classic.
The early 90s were a video game renaissance.
Mega
I
Man?
will give that to Brittany.
10. Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Mega Man 10. Mega Man X was very good. Oh wait, I already said Doom, so let me take my stars off. Final Fantasy 6, I'll mention it, but it's not
No.
as good. I'm just mentioning it. It's not the top tier Final Fantasy games in my opinion, but it's still
Now, is Final
had a pretty
Fantasy
big
6,
release.
is that the Japanese numbering? Because I know there's always that discrepancy between.
Damn, Matt pulling out the facts.
Well, no, because I did
'cause
kind
the
of glance
first
through your
two
guys'
games
years.
yeah.
Because
No.
I wasn't sure if it was Final Fantasy 3, the Super Nintendo version.
No, this is
or-
like the official, like this is 6.
Okay.
Because 7 came out in 97.
Okay,
So
all
it
right.
was like every 3-ish years they did it.
Okay.
For a minute I was offended. Castlevania, Bloodlines. That's just a sequel. I'm mentioning sequels, okay? Disney's Aladdin.
Ouch.
Remember that game?
the
Flying
Game Boy
Carpet?
Disney Aladdin?
No, the Sega Genesis.
Yes, Sega
Disney
Gen-
Aladdin.
See, I had some solid
And
systems.
also Lion King came out this year,
Yep, and
too.
that's my next one. Disney's Lion King. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, based on the animated
Yeah.
show. You mentioned movies. An American Tail.
I didn't mention American Tail.
No, that's me. My year is American Tail.
Oh, yeah.
It's like movies. You like American
I
Tail,
love
though.
American Tail. So
Sorry, I just stole Fievel from you. Streets of Rage 3, Earthbound, which gave us Ness.
Yeah.
Which everybody
Streets
just knows
of Rage
Ness
is very
through,
good, but I think only the first game was good.
And Alien vs Predator. I think that's everything. I might have missed some. These were the ones that I knew of and or could remember.
Okay, to argue my point, since we know Matt's out of the running. No offense.
Hey,
buddy.
no.
No offense, buddy.
Yes, Legend of Zelda is huge.
No, hold on. To argue my points, these games that you listed off, which I will totally give you, are fucking amazing games. Period. End of story. Would not exist without these games coming out first and paving the way and basically helping get the technology
Well,
to where it
yeah.
was for the 90s. And yeah,
Then technically Matt should win because his games.
those games weren't good.
They paved the way for all video
Wait a
games to happen. Like, well, if we want to go back even further, we'll find somebody from like 1953.
Some motherfucker with Pong on their
His
birthday.
year
like,
almost
boop.
killed the
Yeah.
industry.
But I'm just
Come
saying,
on.
you can't
My
be like,
birds
yours are
kill
great, but
video
mine
games.
paved the way. Like,
For
Legend
someone
of
who
Zelda,
plays video games as much as Matt, he's almost responsible for their demise.
I know, right?
If
Legend
Matt
of Zelda
wasn't
did not
birthed-
inspire Earthworm Jim. That's all I'm gonna say.
Really? You don't think so?
No.
I think
Completely
every
different
video
style of
game,
game.
I think every video game is somehow inspired by Zelda and Metroid and Mario and even later on with Sonic.
But then you can
and-
argue they've all been inspired by the original Pong or Pitfall or Cubert.
See, for me personally, in regards to judging the years, I got to go off of the game released that year, not what inspired it versus, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's the same with the movies. That
Well,
was rough.
Well, I'm still pissed about the movies, damn it. I go to sleep at night like fucking 19, what, god damn it.
I didn't. I know Rob and Cabri and Heather were like, "Oh, look at our stuff too." I don't remember their years,
No.
or else I would. But honorable mentions, if they want to list theirs, they can.
I mean, we could put a poll up for all the contributors and everything.
Try,
and
but
people
Facebook doesn't really have polls.
No,
Anymore.
Facebook decided to be stupid.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Which is lame because I like having those like little gifs and then it's like
Yeah,
vote your
yeah,
fave. It is hard though because I do love games that came out both of your years.
I'm going to make a point to kind of lead victory towards you because here's the thing about these games on my year. They are all fantastic games and they are all games that paved the way. My problem with them now is that I can go back and play every single one of these because I have the Switch and if you pay for their online service, you get all the classics. I can't play them. Like I go and I try and I'm just like, this is fucking awful.
Because you're weak.
No, it's because
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
it's because those games are just like where video games are now compared to then. Like I know some people love playing retro games. I can't do it. The most retro game that I can play is you and I were playing Pod Racer and like Sonic. I play Sonic. Yeah, dude, you were going like
I just didn't know the controls.
200 miles per hour when you should have been going like 500.
Matt, I was there and I was like, what are the buttons? Is it just like we hold A and move the stick? And he's like, yeah, that's it. So the entire time, hold the trigger and move forward. But leaning the stick forward was slowing me down. That was braking. So like he only told me 2 controls.
I never told you to pull the stick up. You did that on your own.
I asked you the controls and you said, yeah, you move with the stick and
you
do
move
this.
with the stick and you hold A down to go. That's it. And if you want to boost, you do the down and then boom, A.
Yeah, I didn't know all that until I played through it a few times and died. And then I was like, how do you get like 800 miles an hour? I thought I just had a really shitty pod.
Oh man, I'm old.
And the amount of Killer Instinct I played, god damn, did I love that game. That was my listen,
was a good one.
You got your Mortal Kombats, you got your Street Fighters. My favorite fighting game back in the day was Killer Instinct.
K.I.
Yeah.
Basically, the early to mid 90s was the golden era of fighting games because SNK put out so many fighting games, and I love a lot of SNK's fighting games from back in the day. And I mean, Brittany, Street Fighter 2 is like pretty much defined video games for like over a decade. Like almost every fighting game after was trying to be the next Street Fighter.
They released a remaster on Switch and I bought that and I love it. It's really good. Yeah. Super Street Fighter 2.
Shuriken.
I'm not going to lie, Guile's theme does go with everything.
It does.
I never got like, what the hell is he saying?
My favorite fighting game is actually Dead or Alive. Specifically, Dead or Alive 4, the one that came out on the 360.
Yeah.
I played that game for 15 hours straight once. Literally got like calluses on my fingers. I got the achievement. I know it was 15 hours because I got the achievements for like 5 hours played, 10 hours played. And then I kept going after that. My thumbs, like I could not stop playing that game. And I love, my favorite character is Hitomi. And she's like, Hitomi, power up.
Yeah, I love Dead or Alive like a great deal. I really enjoy it because it was always one of those like it's not about just it's like doing the counters, like you catch their fist and like do them.
You cannot just button mash.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for
never
my
played
ADD,
it. Can we talk about
ADHD?
a fighter that was horrible and never should have been made? Star Wars Masters of
Terrace Kasai.
Terrace Kasai.
Yep.
Oh my god, I totally forgot to mention I had Wing Commander 3 my year, which I wanted to mention, but I felt like Julian would say I automatically failed because I had anything related to Wing Commander.
That would be mad, not me.
No, Wing Commander 3 is an amazing game.
Well, shit,
I'm not even lying. It is an incredible. It has Mark Hamill in it.
Did you know
Wing
that the
Commander.
Star Wars Episode 3 game on PS2 had a really awesome Jedi versus Jedi like lightsaber battle mode that was far superior than the actual story mode of the game? It was fantastic. We used to battle it out all the time.
I loved all those games.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings games were also
Lord of the
really
Rings
good.
Return of the King is
So-
probably one of the
so
best
good.
movie adaptation games ever.
Still think about that shit.
So good. All right, Matt.
God damn it.
How are we gonna vote?
Matt's going to vote.
Yeah.
Matt's going to declare a winner, I think, right?
Yeah. So I will have to like give it to Brittany just because she does have like, I'm not saying Julian doesn't have absolute classics, but in terms of just sheer quantity of great games
And quality, right?
yeah,
said
well, I mean,
titty.
just like, but I mean, I'm saying they're all quality. Like, pretty much a lot of the games she rattled off. Like, I mean, Wing Commander 3, which I didn't even know until she mentioned it. That defined like the space flight sim series, and that was like almost at zenith. You could make the point. Mega Man X, like I've played Mega Man X, and like within the last 2 or 3 years, I bought the upgraded thing for the Xbox. So I own that. Street Fighter 2, we've already just talked about it. Defined fighters for 10 plus years. Need for Speed helped set the was the beginning of the racer genre. Earthworm Jim
I feel the
is
need.
Was it or was
The
Gran
need for
Turismo?
No,
Speed.
Need for Speed
Gran
came out
Turismo
before.
wasn't out yet.
Gran Turismo was a PlayStation
When?
game.
Hold on.
The
When
only
was the
other-
first Gran Turismo?
The only other racing game that came out in 1994 was like 1,000 Grand Prix, something like that, and it was like not good.
I want to say I'd have to do more research, but I want to say Need for Speed was one of the first. Like it was like more of a 3D racing experience.
You were right again. The original Gran Turismo did not come out until 1997.
Gran Turismo, is that Clint Eastwood movie?
Get off my lawn.
I'm sure that there's going to be some purists that would absolutely disagree with me and say, Zelda, Castlevania, Metroid, and all that are like, and don't get me wrong, like those games belong on a Mount Rushmore. But once again, it's the quantity of
You
great
said
games.
Mount Rushmore, and I just
we
got
both frowned.
icky.
Yes, I know. God, it's a figure of speech. God damn it.
We know.
But but the thing is that it's the amount of great classic games that Brittany's year had is where I'm going to say I have to give it to 94. And the thing that sucks is that like, if you keep going in later years, those years probably will win, because if somebody was born in 96, that year will probably win. If you say 98, that year would win. 98 is probably the only year I would say will beat out most years.
Well, then we'll talk about that. Do you think the best birth year for video games basically leans towards people that are born later because of graphics, maybe? Or is it specifically that maybe classic games, there is a year that classic games just can't be overshadowed at some point?
I think Matt said it before. I've said it before. Video games just continue to get better and better and better, right? Like I said, I can't go back and play Zelda. I can go back and play Pod Racer. I could probably go back and like wreck people in Killer Instinct and have fun with it. I have Street Fighter 2 for the Switch, which is still just the normal Street Fighter 2. I could put on like SNES mode or whatever mode it is for it, Yeah, they just get better and better. So I don't think that, even though we could have a segment, classic best games for your,
for sure.
I guess not for your birth year, but for
Just from childhood.
yeah, and fight up against that. But I don't think that they could beat out anything from the 90s going into the 2000s.
So my personal, and I considered pitching this as a segment of like, you pick the best year for what you think was the best year of video games. Cause I've said this for years and years, my personal favorite in terms of what set the video game industry up to be what it is today is 1998. Because that's the year that gave us, and I can't remember all the games, I used to know them, was like the original Half-Life, which I cannot tell you what a game breaker and what a game changer that thing was when it came out. It completely revolutionized the entire industry.
Half-Life, Ocarina of Time,
Ocarina of Time.
StarCraft.
Yep.
StarCraft. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Baldur's Gate,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid,
Whew.
Banjo and Kazooie, the
Yeah, this would have
original,
blown me out of the water.
Grim Fandango, which we've talked
I
about
love
on
Grim
this show
Fandango.
before, Resident Evil 2,
Oh,
Dude, I'm telling you,
Yes.
98 is one of the few years that I say will crush most main.
a game that
most
I
years.
loved, F-Zero X, which is a good racer.
I know the name, but I don't
Yeah, it
think
was
I
a
ever
good
played
racer. Tenchu Stealth, that game was so fucking hard. Sonic Adventure, fine. The original Spyro the Dragon, Star Wars Rogue Squadron,
yes, that one's so good.
3D, Tomb Raider 3. I'm just gonna keep going because
That's a pretty
this
solid one.
is StarCraft Brood War, which was the expansion.
Yep.
Need for Speed 3, Pokemon Yellow. I know nothing about.
Yes. 'Cause I was going to say, when you mentioned 98, I immediately thought Pokemon, because that's the year that like 98's printed on like all their Pokemon stuff. Like that was the year.
But do you see what I'm like? As I
Turok
said,
2, Seeds of Evil.
Turok.
as I said, man,
know how I feel about that.
1998 is probably, in my opinion, like probably the best video game year.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
they released everything that year because they were really worried about Y2K. And they're like, we got to pump everything out of 98 and 99.
Yikes.
And then nothing happened. So
You win.
for now, I win for now. You never know.
We got
If
to put
had
it
more
to the
here,
people.
we'd
We
see.
got
Yeah.
to, I mean, we can't do a poll, but we have to make some kind of post with everybody's. Maybe we could make a list of everybody's games for their birth year and
Yeah,
put it to
at
the
least the
people.
top ones.
While we're on the subject of video games, Nintendo, if you're listening, could I please have a Rogue Squadron port for the Switch?
That would be amazing.
Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Nintendo. I feel like every time somebody says something to Nintendo, it's always like, when will this come to the Switch? Like, who knows? Hopefully soon. I think even Little Nightmares, somebody was like, when will it come to the Switch? And they're like, we'll see.
I'm so happy it's getting a sequel. You guys have no idea
It's
how happy I am.
really awesome. I was excited when I heard about it was getting a sequel. I'm like, I'm playing it right now.
Just like just the design of like all the creatures and characters in there, like the caretaker with his long ass arms. And
Oh, that's what he is? I didn't know what his job was.
yeah, that's his name. Is the caretaker, and then you have the cooks, and then you have the lady, the geisha
Yeah.
who's combing her hair and humming.
Good with the ladies.
With the ladies. I love it. So yeah, listeners, I don't know if we'll have a list coming out of not just ours, but other EIP crew and contributors, but you can let us know which of us you think have the best birth years. You can also let us know about your birth year and, leave us a comment, message, or an email just listing the stuff that came out your year, why you think it's the best or not, etc. Because we want to know, and we really want to find out, do birth years actually get better with time, or are they going to get worse again? Because, hey, remember even in Hollywood there was a writer's strike in 2008? There were some bad movies that year. So you never know. Maybe there were bad video game years in the future. So we're going to move on to shows that are gone but not forgotten. So this can either be shows that ended too soon because maybe they were canceled or they had a bad finale, or maybe they ended fine but you still kind of wanted more. And everybody has shows like this. A lot of people can think off the top of their head. The most famous one is people being oh, Firefly.
I hope it's not on any of our lists.
I didn't.
I don't need to put it.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
Everybody knows.
Firefly
and
got an
they
ending,
got a
goddammit.
movie. Yeah, they got a movie, but people wish they could go back in time and
Yes,
give it
I
a
know.
full run, which is cool. But anyway, in this scenario, we're going to assume that all the cast members, regardless of if they're voice actors or whatever, are all still alive. Maybe they're at that prime age that you want them to be at of when the show stopped. And then we're just going to pick it up from there. So we'll go through the list again with, I guess we'll go in a circle, one by one.
Yeah.
Matt's picks, Julian's picks, my picks.
All right, so my first pick, I went with canceled TV shows. So I didn't go with ones that ended unsatisfactorily because I didn't want to do that much research, honestly, and dig through all my viewed TV shows. But my first canceled TV show that I would love to get another season to close it out is the show Happy. It just
that
it just got
ended?
canceled last year.
With Chris Maloney, right?
Yeah, and Patton Oswalt as the voice of Happy. I know I've talked about Happy before, and I think when I talked about it when it got canceled a while ago. And Happy is one of the most mind-fucked shows you will ever watch, but it is a fantastic watch. The second season gets a little too weird, but it's still an enjoyable watch. The first season is great. The first season, I would almost say, is required watching for
Wow.
for a lot of people, just because of all the trippy shit that they do and the way the story progresses and all that fun stuff. So yes, Happy is my first pick.
I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
Charlie Cox, Daredevil. Fuck you, Marvel,
Yeah.
for your stupid relationship with
I put my marbles in
with
that little group.
Netflix. I listen, I really loved Jessica Jones. Punisher was fine. I did not really care for Luke Cage. I didn't watch the second season.
What about Iron Fist?
Nobody's going to argue
Wait,
Iron Fist.
was that a show?
No, they never made a show. What are you talking about?
But damn, was Daredevil so freaking amazing.
Daredevil was awesome.
Charlie Cox, I would say, is the standard bearer. Not that Ben Affleck ever was.
He is the Matt Murdock.
Yeah, Charlie Cox is the Matt Murdock Daredevil character. Vince D'Onofrio as Kingpin was just some of the most brilliant casting in a TV show ever. Not to say that my boy Liev Schreiber in Into the Spider-Verse didn't do a killer job, because he did as well, but that's animated.
Yeah,
but
that's cheating.
For the look and feel, and listen, Kingpin in a lot of iterations is very New York, very strong New York accent. And I think in the current run of comics right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Kingpin's the mayor of New York.
Probably. He's always up to some shady shit.
And he was running for, I think, mayor or city
senator or
council
something?
for something in Daredevil season. But the way that he played him is very highbrow, very rich, very sophisticated. Was a take that was really refreshing, and I would have loved another season of that. I would have loved more interactions with him, and I'm gonna forget the actor's name who plays Punisher.
John Bernthal.
Yes,
John Bernthal, because even though Punisher season 1 was good, I still haven't finished season 2.
I haven't watched season 2 yet.
It wasn't great of what I've watched. It seemed like a very big rehash of season 1. Their chemistry in Daredevil season 2 was off the charts. So I definitely want to see another season. I'm hoping now that they're free from their Netflix contracts that somehow Marvel and gets these series on Disney Plus and maybe brings Charlie Cox back. There's always been rumors that it's going to happen. So
That'd be a little too hardcore for Disney Plus, though, don't you think? Though
Disney
They
is
just did Hamilton and took out all
so
the F
there's
words.
there's the theory that Disney could put them on Hulu.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's what they did for Runaways,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping because that show's just so good. And listen, Jessica Jones was really good too. I still haven't watched the 3rd season of that. So
I didn't see
don't
that
know.
either.
I haven't watched any. of
I
Jessica
really
Jones.
loved the first season of that show. I thought it was fantastic.
Anyway, that's my first pick.
Okay, my first pick is going to be The OA from Netflix. One of my favorite, I would consider this like a sci-fi series. It's also mind trippy, but also extremely philosophical. And like, there's a certain type of show that like Netflix will have on and then they'll get rid of very quickly. I think because of its philosophical nature and different things that happen in it. But The OA is really awesome. The premise of the first season, at least, is this main character who is a blind girl that has been missing for years. Like, she was either abducted or whatever. Like, you don't know at first as the audience. And she comes back, but she's able to see now. Like, it's really interesting because they're like, well, when she went missing, like, she was blind. She's been blind since childhood, and now all of a sudden she can see again. But it's I don't want to say stuff that'll give it away. But it's really awesome. The cast is incredible. Like, the plot, like, the music is fantastic. The way it's shot is awesome. Like, it's in terms of cinematography, and it was made by Britt Marling and Zalbat Monlage. And I remember watching the first season, and the way it ends, like the very end of the first season, like, got me so hard. Like, it's like such a profound and deep show and meaningful. And the way that the first season left off, like, I immediately was like, wow, I really hope this doesn't get canceled and we get a second. We did get a second season. Very surprised. It even got better. It got to the point where it was reaching like meta level awesomeness, and then Netflix canceled it. And they did it around the time that they were canceling a lot of different shows because they're like, oh, things are too expensive to shoot, blah, blah, blah. Which will tie into the next one I'll talk to next time around. But Jason Isaacs plays a character in that show, and he does a really awesome job. And that's what made me excited to eventually watch Star Trek Discovery. So if you like Jason Isaacs, he's also in that show. Like, everybody in the show is really, really incredible. So I highly suggest it. Check it out. It's worth the watch.
Nice.
Give it a few episodes to really get you to like pulled in.
All right, so back to me. So my next show will be one that probably only I and Heather have watched, and we were actually legit upset when it got canceled, and that is the 2014 show Enlisted, it was called. It was a comedy show about 3 brothers in the Army. One of them, the oldest brother, is this really awesome elite Afghanistan veteran and stuff like that, and he punches a superior and he gets sent home. And the only actor of real note that's in it is I always get his name mixed up. Is it Keith David?
I haven't
Keith
seen
David.
it.
Yeah.
Keith David. He plays a sergeant major in the unit, but the 3 brothers are basically paired up in this unit. The oldest one, who's like very rah-rah Army, and he's like, you know, as I said, like an elite soldier dude. The middle brother, who's like a complete dirtbag and is like, I'm done with this Army shit. And the younger brother, who's like dim-witted but wants to do good. And it's all about like the stuff that they do on this base in Florida. And some of the stuff is really goddamn funny. And it really hits me in terms of like the Army humor because obviously I'm kind of deep in the veteran community for obvious reasons. And some of the stuff that they joke about really hits because, like, for example, like there's the oldest brother is talking about the stuff he, like, when he used to say in Afghanistan to get out of like getting in trouble for stuff, he'd be like, I'm sorry, officer, there were no speed limits in Afghanistan and stuff like that. And I'm just like, that's something that like a vet would do. That is exactly something that they would say to get out of a speeding ticket. And Heather and I still to this day will make the in Afghanistan joke to each other.
This wasn't on my list, but this was a show that got canceled far too soon either. That was another military show. It was a drama. It was kind of dark that I really liked. It was called Over There. And it was really good. And they canceled it after one season.
Yeah.
It was like super disappointing.
Yeah.
That happens with a lot of military shows.
Yeah, and as like Enlisted, I just don't think had the viewer numbers. I don't think it was expensive to make or anything. It's not like they had these grandiose battle scenes or anything like that. But But there also were episodes that were surprisingly pretty emotional. Like the very last episode is called Life Day, where the older brother kind of reflects on the fact that he survived being overseas and like people he served with didn't. And it has a surprisingly emotionally hard-hitting ending to it, where it's like everybody in his unit kind of says like, you made us better soldiers.
Oh wow.
And stuff like that. And it was a really good show, and I was really sad that it got axed. So
I'll continue with the show that made me really sad when it got axed. Sense8. It was another big show on Netflix. Had a huge fan base, and I believe also it got canceled right after its second season, literally like the day after I think it aired. They were like, okay, and it's canceled. They ended up bringing it back for a small like 2-hour special. I guess you can consider it a movie, which wrapped up things, but you could tell that it wasn't like it sped up the ending to the story. Like it should have definitely been like a 5-season long show, or at least 3 seasons, something like that. And Sense8, extremely diverse cast. You have basically it's 8 people from around the world who find themselves suddenly telepathically connected. And this show, I mean, they went on location all these places around the world. Incredible actors, every single one of these main characters. Even one of them is replaced after the first season because he had some issues with, I think, that the content just based on like either his religion or just like cultural preferences, he didn't want to be on it anymore. But they replaced him with somebody else, and he's awesome too. So you don't even mind the character change per se, because they just kind of don't really note it. But it's like, again, it was just this really awesome symbolic show, and it like was a lot about like love and hope and humanity. And of course, there are these people that are connected telepathically, and there's like a government entity that's after them and like searching for them because they want to harness and use their abilities like they have through the past, because there's always these groups called clusters around the world. But it was created by the Wachowskis. So I immediately was interested because I love, The Matrix. I loved Cloud Atlas and a lot of their other works. And when they announced this show, I was like, yeah, I'll definitely check it out, because the main actress from Cloud Atlas, she plays like a character named Sun in this. So I checked it out, and then I was like totally into it. Like it took maybe like 2 episodes, and I was just like, I am in this for the long haul. And I remember my parents it was around the time that I think I finally came out to my family, or maybe like right before I think it was around the time I was coming out, because the last season happened when I graduated college, and I was dating somebody at that time. But like my parents, like my family, they even watched it with me. Like everybody loved this show because there's awesome action. The thing about the 8 storylines is that it all covers different things. So, you have like, a character that's like a hacker, or like, the people that are uncovering things in different areas. Some people are fighters, other people, this one guy literally is an actor, a Mexican actor. And he realizes he's telepathically connected to people, so they'll switch roles into each other, and he'll do the acting for that person. Like, it's really awesome. And the way it's shot is just... Talk about Orphan Black, when they would switch in and out. Like, a lot of that in this show, and scenes where they're all there, but they're in their heads, interacting with each other. So, yeah, it got to the point where I think the show was talking too much about what life could be like if people maybe would open their views a little more instead of stay narrow. And, it was just axed. And the fan base itself was just like what pushed for like, please at least give us a movie, like wrap up these storylines, because the way it ends is like, my parents, like I remember my dad was really upset.
Yeah.
It ended. He's like, we don't have Sense8 anymore. And I told him around that time, a lot of things were happening in TV, especially around that time. Certain notable LGBT characters were also being killed off. So you had the 100 where Lexa literally was killed.
Culber was killed off in Discovery.
Exactly. Like a lot happened. So like I was already in a darker place because of that. And I was like, wow, I really connected to this character in that show. They killed her off, and I'm tired of seeing this happen. And then literally, I think a week later, it was right at the beginning of Pride Month, they're like, Sense8 is canceled too. And I was like,
yikes.
Bro. So then my family finally understood what I kind of go through. But yeah, definitely check it out. And I'm not just saying that like to plug in like, oh, there's some like, same-sex love stories or different things that happen in it. But like, it's a really beautiful human story with sci-fi.
Nice. I'm going to go with one that is a very important part of my life. And it was its time where sci-fi was rebranding and
the Sci-Fi network,
putting wrestling on their fucking network. And I'm a wrestling fan. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And, just killing their original series. And Stargate Atlantis.
I knew you were going to say some Stargate show.
Oh yeah, and I will also say Stargate Universe in
that's
another
what I
second. But
SGU.
Stargate Atlantis had 5 seasons, and that's good, right?
Yeah.
But even though it didn't end on a cliffhanger, it still kind of did because spoilers 3, 2, 1. At the end of season 5 in the finale, Atlantis makes it from the Pegasus Galaxy back to Earth and literally lands, I think, like in San Francisco Bay. And it's just like, okay, cool. And everybody's like having their moment on like the balcony. And it's like, hey, we're on Earth. Yay, we're cloaked. No one can see us. At the same time, it's like there are ramifications for that. There's no Atlantis in the Pegasus Galaxy anymore. I think they end up like destroying all the Wraith at the end of the episode. It's been a while since I watched the finale, but there's still other threats. Mm-hmm. And, that team was helping a lot of the planets there. And, I wish they had explored or at least done what they did with SG-1 and made a couple of movies, but Sci-Fi was just having none of it. And unfortunately at the time too, MGM was going bankrupt. So it didn't get another season. And listen, all those actors are still available. They still look good. Joe Flanagan's a sexy man. I would love to see another season of SGA. Stargate Atlantis, that one.
You just want to see more Stargate.
I want to see more Stargate. And then on the subject of Stargate Universe, again, I think they started the show, and again, this was still Sci-Fi rebranding, and they canceled it. Not to say that it was a good show. The first season, they were like, this is going to be part of our new like edginess. There's going to be romance. There are going to be younger characters. People were up in arms about it, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. And then season 2, it kind of like they brought some of the sci-fi flair back because a lot of the Stargate fans, like me, complained.
It was getting there, and then it got canceled.
Yeah, so it was getting there, and then done. So I would have liked another season of that because it's a cool story, and I bet you they could have found a way to somehow tie SGU and the Ancients into like maybe new stuff that could happen in Atlantis. Stargate and SG-1 and Atlantis are such like a huge part of Karen and I's lives. Like we bonded a lot over those, and I really miss those shows. Karen's actually like rewatching all of SG-1 right now. So yeah. If you haven't ever seen Stargate SG-1 or Stargate Atlantis, it's great science fiction.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
You just got to make it through that first season where like the budget wasn't
Richard Dean Anderson,
there.
baby.
He's worth it.
Yep. RDA. Yeah.
So my next show I'm going to talk about is Almost Human. It was canceled in 2014. It stars this man, for his dedication to all things nerd and culture, deserves like all the famous Carl Urban. And most people know him nowadays as he played obviously Dr. McCoy in the new Star Trek movies. But he also played Dredd in my favorite adaptation of Judge Dredd.
So good.
Fantastic movie. But he starred in the show, and it takes place in the future. He plays a detective. I forget what city it's in, or it's set in. But basically, there's all sorts of crime problems and such, and there's these android robots that they basically use them as tools in the department, and they're just throwaway, whatever. Nobody cares about them. And I forget it's been years since I watched the show, but they activate this one android to basically be his partner that actually can emote and actually act like a person and such. Obviously, it's not perfect, but the actor who plays the Dorian is the android's name. It's Michael Ealy is the actor's name. He does a fantastic job. Almost Human, as I said, made it one season. I kind of figured it would get canceled when I was watching it because I remember thinking to myself, like, this is probably going to be way too expensive for them to keep making. But it ended on like almost like cliffhanger, just because they bring up this thing called the Wall, which walls off part of the city, which they never mention in any previous episode except the very last one. And you're like, wait, what? There's this giant wall in the city? Like, what the hell? What's going on?
Didn't you know this is Attack on Titans Part 3?
Yeah, but somebody actually pointed it out and said that, like, if it's something that most people are used to, they wouldn't be talking about it all the time. Like, oh, the wall. There's the wall. Like, but yeah, Almost Human was a great show. I really would have liked to see where they went with it. As I said, Carl Urban alone is worth watching it for, but he and Michael Ealy have great chemistry together, and I almost wish they could have just done a movie just to close it out, just to kind of see where the characters end up, but another season would have been great. So
I'm gonna take a shift to cartoons
Uh-oh.
because they're notorious for it getting canceled because animation is expensive, and also networks like to use the excuse that like, oh, they're not selling enough toys, so we'll just classic. And I'm gonna mention Teen Titans, one of the best cartoon shows, especially comic cartoon shows that has come out recently. Not really recently, but like it's in the last decade or two.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly.
I don't remember what year.
It was like early 2000s.
Yeah, early mid 2000s.
But it was a really awesome show. It was right for the age that it was set out for. But at the same time, you could watch that as an adult or someone of any age and get enjoyment out of it. There were some really deep episodes, like where Cyborg is conflicted with the fact that he wants to push himself to be better than 100%. And he thinks he has limitations because he's literally like a machine, and he's literally his output. He can only like push so much, like he can only lift so much weight because his machine parts will break, etc. And he thinks his human part of him also limits him. And he's like, well, if I was more machine, maybe I could do more. And the episode was like low key, actually about like racism and some other stuff. But it was just really cool because it showed like his human nature, and he ends up learning that he can do 110% if he embraces his human side, because his human side never wants to give up, regardless of the limitations that he might actually have, like whether it's a physical arm or, mechanical arm. And there was a lot of really amazing episodes, story arcs, characters. Like I wanted so bad to see Tara come back.
Yep, I was about to say
Tara was one of my favorite characters, also voiced by Ashley Johnson, by the way. That was the first role I knew her from. I was just like, I would always watch the credits as kids and like find out, the voice actors, and I was just like, cool. But Teen Titans, really awesome. Unfortunately, they brought it back as Teen Titans Go, which I guess is okay for kids, but like even some kids are like, oh, I wish I could have the actual cartoon show. Hopefully one day we'll have that again, but it's one of those many shows I like as a kid even wrote to Cartoon Network for, and I was like, hey, can you please bring this show back? It was really awesome, or at least give me a movie.
I actually loved Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a kid up when it was on, obviously, but I really enjoyed it. And Ron Perlman is a goddamn treasure as the voice of Slade, because he is just
so
awesome.
Good. That whole storyline with Robin, like the story arcs were intense in that show for kids. Even Raven and her dad. Triton, oh god. Anyway, that's it for me.
I'm a huge Kiefer Sutherland fan, and I loved, all of 24. There was a couple of meh seasons in 24.
I never watched 24.
So good, dude. I'll let you borrow the first season.
I still have Sons of Anarchy, so hold off.
Oh yeah, that's
How
right.
How many seasons did they have?
8. They had 8 seasons of 24.
They should have had 24.
That's a lot of hours.
Go.
Shame. Shame.
So he did another political-ish show that was on ABC for 2 seasons. It was called Designated Survivor.
Yes, I want to watch that.
It's so good, dude. And then ABC canceled it.
Yeah.
And that was extremely disappointing because Karen and I freaking loved this show.
I thought Netflix picked it up, though.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
So Netflix picked it up for a 3rd season, and it was okay. Like, we actually weren't too thrilled with it. So they went from ABC to Netflix. They're like, oh, we could swear now. And there's a lot of forced swearing. And listen, I swear like a sailor, okay? Like, I don't mind swearing, but it was so forced, and like the writing was just meh. And then like as the show progressively got through the season, it got more serious, and they found their footing being on Netflix. And the whole season is Kirkman running for basically rerunning for president as an independent, and he's running up against a former president who did one term and decided to get back in the game, who's a hardcore Republican jackass. And the season ends. Oh, I can't spoil it for you. I'll just say this. The season ends on a huge fucking cliffhanger. A huge cliffhanger.
And then
Does someone get sniped?
And then they canceled it.
Is this West
Netflix
Wing?
cancels it.
Damn.
Yoicks.
Oh, man. And I love Kiefer, and this whole cast was fantastic. And I'm like, so it got canceled, and this is Netflix, who lets people have their like moment to have a cliffhanger, and you're not doing anything. They're not doing anything with it. It is done. People are on new projects already.
Good.
And I'm just like, oh man, I love that show. I want more.
Julian demands another season and or movie.
Movie. I'll take a movie.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of
Yeah.
things can be solved if, like, just please give me like a 2.5 hour
Just give me
movie
a
just
movie.
to tie it up.
Stargate Atlantis.
It's pretty much.
So
Not Daredevil. Give me a whole nother like 10 seasons of Daredevil. One of my favorite Marvel characters.
all right. So back to me. The show ended not because it was canceled, but because the creator actually just walked away from it. But still, one of the funniest shows ever made is Chappelle's Show.
Oh, hell yes.
Chappelle's Show, I know it's,
I always think of him as Prince.
it's technically 3 seasons because they released like a bunch of episodes after it was off the air. But I always say it was 2 seasons because that's what he actually sat down and made. And this wasn't just the discarded crap that they put together to make a 3rd season. But Chappelle's Show was one of the funniest, most satirical shows. Like it covered everything. It covered race. Like everything in between. It was so goddamn funny. And if you weren't around to watch it when it was on, it is still relevant in terms of a lot of its humor and how it attacks things.
So we all kind of know the rumors, right? That Wayne Brady is kind of a douchebag in real life. You know, he's not the
is he?
nicest. Yeah, apparently he's like Preston and Steve have talked about like having him on a guest and how he was their worst guest ever. Like not a nice dude. But damn, dude, the Wayne Brady.
That make Brian Gumbo look like Malcolm X, huh, motherfucker?
This is straight PCP, motherfucker. You will smoke this.
Hey, Dave, give me your sandwich. The Dragoon's like crying. I said, give me your damn sandwich, Dave.
Oh my god, I love Chappelle's Show.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Oh man.
But his couple of Netflix specials that he's done recently have been really good.
Yeah, but some people, I haven't watched them, but people have pointed out that he's made like a lot of trans jokes and such. And because he has his trans friend killed themselves.
Oh Jesus.
So,
Did not know that.
and some people have said like, oh, your supposed trans friend, that's why you can make these terrible jokes about these people, like committed suicide. So
That's fair.
yeah, but
Yikes.
yeah, I
Maybe
know.
his humor does not transcend the time period he once came from. Does anybody have like one last one? Do you want to go around, or you
I
guys
can throw
done?
one as a toss away. I won't
Do
go
you have
into
any
detail
more?
about it.
If not, that's okay.
Julian's like, oh God.
DS9. I hated the DS9 finale.
Oh, you didn't like the paw wraiths?
I hated the pod race. I hated that Cisco went with the fucking Prophets.
Yep.
For what was an amazing fucking television show with just, so good. The finale was awful.
Ciscoing going on.
And just completely unresolved, you know? I don't even need all the cast back, but I would like at least like DS9 the Cisco Chronicles. Like give me an ending that isn't him like abandoning his new family.
I miss Jadzia.
Yeah, and I miss
That
Jadzia.
was kind of lame.
Bring Jadzia
That
back.
was shitty.
Oh man. You know the story behind that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah. Terry Farrell wanted to have like a limited role in the last season, so they just straight up fired her
Yeah, it's
and
really,
killed her
really
off.
shitty.
Like just bullshit.
Like there was no reason she could have just left.
Yeah.
You know, like literally left Deep Space Nine. Oh my god.
Fair enough. All
But
right.
whatever, she had one of those early on lesbian kisses on TV. So
Yep.
Oh my.
had to get rid of her. Anyway, I'm gonna cap mine off with mentioning the Thundercats reboot. So it was the Thundercats animated series that happened in 2011 on Cartoon Network. It was kind of drawn more, I guess, in like the style of
It was like it
Legend
was
of
like
Korra kind of, like,
adult
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It was like more. It wasn't like it was only for adults. Like,
No, I know,
was
but just the animation style.
Yeah, the
It wasn't
animation was a
kiddie
lot
looking.
more like adult, refined. It was really awesome though, and I think it only got one season. But I remember just being like, I was so excited like every week for the new episode, and I would watch it. I would like rewatch episodes, and like I really love what they did with the characters. I liked how they like somewhat modernized them to some extent. You know, they still look like the characters, but I really liked the depth that they were given. And I think they should do that with more of the 80s cartoons because, like, let's be honest, there's, like, no plot to most of those shows.
Looking at you,
Looking at
G.I.
you,
Joe.
He-Man. Jesus Christ. I love Skeletor, but we'll see.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwiches.
But, yeah, Thundercats was getting awesome and pretty deep, and then it had its, like, season finale, and then they're like, yeah, that's it for the series. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, the show was amazing. And they're just going to say that, oh, we didn't sell enough products or whatever. But at the same time, are you really even, I don't see any of them on the shelves. Did you even make them?
Exactly.
It's a poor excuse. And I think they just, I know, it was ahead of its time. And I would love to have seen more seasons of that show, for sure. So cool.
Do you want
the
to toss a quick
the
one in,
fight with
Julian?
Mum
I did.
Ra.
All right.
I already did.
Oh, you did?
DS9.
Oh, okay. My quick one I'll toss, even though I haven't even finished watching the lone season that exists, and I've talked about it, is The Bastard Executioner. I really am enjoying it. I don't know how the season ends. I don't know if it ends on a cliffhanger, but I very much would have liked to see more of it. So,
And he executed the end of that real quick.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
So I didn't want to take too much time.
Oh, that's fine. So if everybody is good with that, I guess we'll close out our episode here.
It's that time.
So that's it for this week's episode. I hope my hosting wasn't too gnarly. No? Okay, they're not into it. Whatever, man. So, for Matt, for Julian, and for me, of course, your host, Ted Theodore Logan, aka Brittany, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Bigliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.